All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about a huge idea, one that could completely change medicine as we know it. Imagine shifting from blurry guesswork to something that's crystal clear and totally personalized. It all boils down to one question. What if we could see our own health not like some flickering old movie, but like a stunning high-definition photograph? And that amazing metaphor, it comes from an innovator named Sergio Diarpa. And honestly, it's the perfect way to understand his whole vision and really what this entire explainer is all about. He's asking us to imagine a world where our health isn't this vague, blurry picture, but something incredibly vivid and detailed, a high-def photo instead of a grainy old film. So, at its core, this whole thing is really a story about two worlds clashing. It's about two totally different ways of thinking about medicine hitting each other head on. You've got the past on one side, and on the other, this vision of a completely data-driven future. Let's break that down. So on one side, you have traditional medicine. And look, it's noble work, no question about it. But DARPA's point is that it's often, well, analog. It's subjective, driven by habit. It's that blurry black and white film we were talking about. And then you have this new vision, a world that is data-driven, totally objective, and even predictive. It's like seeing the human body in glorious 8K color. And this isn't just a small upgrade, you know? It's a completely different way of thinking. So you're probably wondering, who's the guy pushing for this massive change? Well, to really get the idea, you have to understand the person behind it, because honestly, his background is the key to this whole thing. Okay, so this is Sergio Darpa. He founded Klinik Sankt Moritz, and he's the guy who came up with the whole digital twin concept for health. But here's the real kicker, the thing you have to pay attention to. Look at that last point. His background, it's not medicine. It's in supercomputing and neural networks. He's from a world of pure objective data, not a world of subjective symptoms. That's a huge difference. And that leads us right to this. This is his core belief. He sees his outsider's status, the fact he wasn't a doctor, not as a downside, but as his biggest advantage. He says he wasn't formatted by the system. He wasn't taught to think in a certain way, which meant he could spot the cracks in the foundation, the big structural problems that maybe people on the inside just got used to. Okay, so what was this huge flaw he saw? What was the thing that really set him on this path? Well, it all boils down to one single practice, something that's at the very heart of pretty much every single doctor's visit you've ever had. The word for it is anamnesis. It's a fancy Greek word, but all it really means is recollection. It's that part of the appointment where the doctor leans in and asks you about your history. You know the drill. So, when did this pain start? Can you describe it? Has this ever happened before? The whole thing. It's based entirely on what you can remember. Which brings up a really important question, right? Think about it. When you're feeling sick, maybe you're a little scared or just confused, how good is your memory? Really? Can you honestly remember the exact details from weeks or months ago? Was it a sharp pain or a dull ache? Was it a Tuesday or a Wednesday? I mean, the doctor's entire diagnosis could be riding on these fuzzy memories. And DARPA, well, he does not mince words on this subject. He calls it folly. He basically says it's a giant, inefficient process that we pretend is just part of the human touch of medicine. In his mind, building a whole system on something as shaky as human memory isn't just a mistake, it's a massive fundamental flaw. So, out of all that frustration, this brilliant idea started to take shape. It's actually super simple when you think about it. If relying on foggy memories is the problem, then the solution is to just get rid of the need for memory altogether. And here it is. This is the big aha moment. Instead of waiting until you're sick and then trying to piece together the past, what if we just collected objective data before you ever get sick? What if we had a continuous, real-time recording of your health when you're feeling great? That is the digital twin. It's like a living, breathing copy of your entire clinical history. And this right here, this is the real game changer. Look at the difference. Traditional medicine, it uses memory to react to you being sick. The digital twin, on the other hand, uses data to predict problems before they happen. See the shift? The goal isn't just about curing you anymore. It's about seeing what's coming and stopping you from getting sick to begin with. Okay, so as you can imagine, a shift this big has massive implications. And we're not just talking about for patients. This changes things for doctors, for hospitals, for the entire system. So let's dive into what this new model of healthcare actually looks like. Now, the first thing a lot of doctors think is, oh, great, technology's coming to replace me. That's the big fear, right? But DARPA says, no, that's not it at all. It's the exact opposite. He calls the digital twin an invisible assistant. Think about it. It handles all the boring, tedious data crunching, which frees up the doctor to do what they do best, the human stuff, the empathy, the tough calls, actually connecting with their patients. And you've got to love how down-to-earth his logic is. He's not just some philosopher in an ivory tower. He's an entrepreneur. For him, it boils down to this, plain and simple. This tech helps doctors work less, earn more, and get better results for their patients. I mean, it's a classic win-win-win. And all of this builds towards his big picture goal, a concept he calls health justice. The idea is to create a system that can actually sustain itself. He believes that if you're sick, care should be free. But if you're healthy, there should be a real economic reason for you to invest in staying healthy. This builds a whole new model that can grow, that's based on merit, and where preventing illness actually pays off for everyone involved. And that brings us right back to where we started, with that incredible metaphor. DARPA really leaves us with a powerful final question to think about. The technology to see our health in sharp, vivid, full color, it exists. It's not science fiction. So the real question for all of us is, why would we insist on keep watching that blurry black and white film?